I'm still short 300 flowers for my 1,000 flower goal so I can compete in the Flower Farming Olympics, Mother's Day, and win the gold medal by growing 100 bouquets worth of flowers. Last week, I started a bunch of sunflowers to help me reach my goal of winning the gold medal, but I can't have any frost. I need to protect them from any cold, and we need really warm weather all week. So at the end of the week, we will check back in to see whether or not they germinated and how they're growing. In the meantime, I have a farmer's market to go to that needs to go really well in order for me to stay on track and continue this as a business. And at the end of last week, I was able to go visit an old abandoned daffodil farm, and this week we're going back. And that is where this week begins. I woke up to a light layer of frost covering almost everything, and I had no time to check on my recently planted sunflowers because I had to meet someone to drive to go see some daffodils.
Today, it's noon. It's just over noon, just past noon, and today has already been so different from my normal days. I woke up early-ish and went to the daffodil farm. And last night, the day before yesterday, we had 90 degrees. Yesterday, we had snow and a frost last night. You cannot make this up. It's snowing. It's snowing. What the heck? That is, yeah. Me too, girl. My gosh, I thought we were done. We are appalled and shocked by this development. So we drove further north to get to the daffodil farm. I went with, I'll call him the owner. He's not technically the owner, but he's the guy who I'm working with, I guess. It was so beautiful. It felt like a scene out of a movie, like insane, just gorgeous, but everything was covered in a layer of frost and or snow. So I dug up some daffodils while we waited for things to sort of melt, and then we picked hundreds of daffodils. And now I am back home. I'm going to eat something, and then we are going to sort out not only all the daffodils, but also we cut a bunch of flowering branches because tomorrow is the farmer's market, and I hope people want to buy these flowers. I hope that people like them. I think they're beautiful and they're gorgeous, but because they're yellow, I'm really worried that people will just assume they're like your standard daffodil when they're not. They're an antique vintage variety. So they're special in that sense, but I'm not sure that the average person at my farmer's market will appreciate that. So I'm going to sort them, grade them by height, and figure out how many we have. I think it's a lot. We've got a lot of daffodils, and yeah, it's really beautiful. So I'm very excited to share that with you. And let's go look at these daffodils.
So to make a very long story short as to why and how it is that I have access to this daffodil farm, I live in a small town, and when I was at one of the farmers markets in January, someone came up to me who I know through my mom who has a business in town and said, "Hey, you want some American grown daffodils?" And I said, yeah. And they said, okay, because I live next to an old abandoned farm that's out of commission and there's like thousands of daffodils. So that is the person that I am working with to go and pick these daffodils. He knows the owner's cool with it, and yeah, it's pretty cool, except that every week I've come home with daffodils. So I have now been to this daffodil farm several times, and every time I come back with cut flowers, but also bulbs. And while it is awesome to have a ton of new daffodil bulbs, I don't know what they are, and I don't know where to put them. So I have slowly acquired over the past 2 weeks bulbs everywhere, and I need to find a place to put them. At the same time, I do have empty bed space, but this empty bed space was meant for Mother's Day flowers. So I've made the executive decision that these daffodils need to go in the ground ASAP. So as soon as I come home with new daffodils, I've been trying to plant them as soon as possible in this Mother's Day bed. The pros of that is that it is filled, the daffodils have a new home. The cons is that in the spring, it'll be harder to put spring Mother's Day flowers when I'll have daffodils coming up. But in about a month or so, I should be able to plant something in between the daffodils to help grow and cover the daffodil foliage. So I think it'll work out in the long run. We need to get these bulbs planted and we need to get them identified. If you happen to have any guesses, let me know, because I have been down the rabbit hole trying to figure out what these daffodils are, and it is incredibly difficult. But either way, I know they are special varieties. They are pre-1980s, and they're probably pretty rare because they're from the 1980s, so they're not in circulation now. And they are very similar to a lot of popular ones, but they are different. So yeah, they're special, which is cool. I am the type of person that gets super hyper fixated on something and just goes down rabbit hole after rabbit hole and will just like beeline into something and just drill and drill. So anyways, been down the rabbit hole of the daffodils a bit, and I did find this really cool vintage, I think from the 1920s, entire pamphlet on how daffodil production worked. So I decided to space out the daffodils with about 4 inch of spacing, which gives them room to grow and multiply. And then every other year, you should dig them up and divide them if you're producing bulbs. So yeah, pretty cool. I've also been potting some up, and I'm going to be bringing those to the farmer's market as well to see if people want to buy the potted plants. And then maybe doing some bulb things later, which would be cool. Let me know if you'd be interested in bulbs, because there are lots of bulbs and I might be able to curate some if you're interested. One of the things I learned really quickly last year was the importance of having procedures in place for making bouquets and recipes and all that fun stuff. But at the same time, I like making bouquets that look like they're straight out of the garden and a little wild, and each one is a little bit different. There is another flower grower at the farmer's market that grows beautiful, amazing flowers, and hers are very pastel, but also somewhat uniform. So I think in the coming weeks, as there are more flower growers at the farmer's market, I want to distinguish myself by maintaining the garden style and having mixed bouquets. So I love foliage. I will stand on that. I love foliage, and I love including it in the bouquets. For this farmer's market this weekend, I also decided to do some daffodil bunches, and I did bunches of 20. So I had to kind of separate them out and count each stem. I think in the future, if I'm allowed to cut flowers from this farm in the coming springs, I would rubber band as we go. But I just really love the daffodils. Last year was my first year seeing and being exposed to some of the varieties of daffodils, and I'm just in love with them. If you do not know, you need to know. You need to just go try some new flowers, try some new varieties. I cannot recommend daffodils enough. They have a nice, beautiful scent. Some of them are more scented than others if you're sensitive to that. I love the smell, and I don't want to spoil it, but the next week's daffodils are my favorite, so I can't wait to show you those. But this week was also a super, super sweet variety. They have these really pale sulfur petals, and there is an entire field of just these flowers, and it is glorious, and it smells amazing. And I just love them. They're the perfect spring flower, and they bloom when you have time to appreciate them, because there's nothing else to distract you from the beauty of the daffodils. So I think it's suffice to say that I am in love with daffodils. I'm in love with whatever flower's blooming, but right now it's the daffodils, and I'm in heaven. And as much as I love to stop and smell the flowers that are blooming now, I also have to constantly be thinking about the bigger goal, which is my gold medal for the Flower Farming Olympics. So last week, I started about 60 sunflowers. And the reason why I did sunflowers is because while they are temperature sensitive, as in they will not like a hard freeze, they're less dependent on the amount of daylight and more dependent on the heat and availability of light in general. So my plan is, with this Hail Mary, to keep them as warm as possible to pray that there aren't any frosts, any more cold, because this week we did have that cold snap. So we will check on them at the end of the week to see how they survived. I've been very scared to look under this tarp because, yeah, it's scary. If they did not survive, we've missed the window. Sunflowers can grow quickly within 60 days if they are kept under the proper conditions. But as my garden has started to wake up and it is officially spring, there have been signs of little surprises everywhere. All of my snapdragons that I sowed a few weeks ago are looking really, really good. And at the base of them, at the bottom, I've noticed a lot of little seedlings popping up, and they are basil. And basil has a 60-day maturity, and I love using it as a foliage. It can be very finicky, but I'm gonna let the basil fend for itself. In my little daffodil patch, we have some more surprises. You notice a little section that has been left daffodil free, and that's because last fall I did a lily experiment where I had lilies all the way up until Christmas, and there were some that I ended up just planting out in my garden. They bloomed, I cut them, and they're coming up again. And I also have, there's more, some baptisia, which I totally forgot about because it disappears completely in the winter, and it is coming back and looking really good. So I think, as well as potentially sunflowers, we might have some other surprise stems that we can add to our stem total and get closer to our 1,000 stem goal for Mother's Day. I am so exhausted. But I just posted my second, Mother's Day video. Oh my gosh. Girl, get yourself together. I just posted my second Mother's Day video, and I'm reading the comments, and I want to cry. Thank you. Thank you for watching my videos. Like and subscribe. The farmer's market is tomorrow. I thank you for watching. It really means a lot. This is... life is stressful, life is hard, and it's nice to feel like I have people rooting for me, so thank you. I just put together some bouquets. Oh, look, I mean, there are a little in there, but just look at that. I can't even take credit. These flowers are just so gorgeous that you just put them together and here comes the bride. They look awesome. And I have this one random thing that I cut all the time, and it is starting to put out new leaves, and it's this beautiful chartreuse. Look at this. I mean, you don't even need flowers. They're in there. There's some tulips in there. But I also have a big one. I have two other big ones. This is the one with only one tulip. The primo ones are in the fridge. They're precious. But so many beautiful, beautiful, beautiful spring flowers. I just posted in my town's Facebook group, so hopefully people see the beautiful flowers. There's a ton of daffodils in here. We've got plum, we've got bridal wreaths by Rhea, we have the winter blooming honeysuckles in here. I'm gonna fix this paper wrap, but yeah, the flowers are gorgeous, and I think my tulips are gonna be ready to pick tomorrow after the farmer's market, which I'm totally fine with. So I'm getting things ready. I have to go make a delivery, and then it's farmer's market time. So hopefully people show up. Hopefully people show up, because the flowers are looking gorgeous and they need people to come buy them. Look at that. Enough said, done, finished. In case you're new, or as a quick little refresh, I'm trying to grow 100 bouquets for Mother's Day and win the made-up gold medal that I will award myself if I win. But in the meantime, I have to have every week go really well at the farmer's market. It's currently my main source of income for this flower business. So if the farmer's markets don't go well and Mother's Day goes really well, it's still not a sustainable business, if that makes sense. But if Mother's Day does go really well and my farmer's markets do okay, or I were to add on another farmer's market, hint, hint, that could be potential. Because I'll be honest, I really like making these videos. I'm a homebody. I like making videos and I like telling stories. That's where I feel like I shine the most. And I love growing plants. I love being outside. So if we can make it all work together, that would be awesome. Also, a few weeks ago, I got into a really big plant sale. So if the plant sale goes well and Mother's Day goes well, and I'm able to stay on top of my seeds and have a good farmer's market season, we could be, making music. But we really need this farmer's market to also go well this week, tomorrow, on Saturday. And then it was time for the market. All week, I wait anxiously to see how the market will do. I try my best. I prep as much as I can. But at the end of the day, you just show up, you hope other people show up, and you bring what you have. This week, I brought some large mixed bouquets for the very first time. And I also brought my daffodil bunches. I brought some potted daffodils. I brought my seed packets. I brought a bunch of little stuff. And it was not great. It was not great. But like I said before, if my plant sale in 6 weeks goes really well and Mother's Day also goes really well, you'll have to like and subscribe to see how both of those turn out, of course. But I also got an email this week. Someone reached out to me asking if I would be interested in being a flower vendor at another market. So I may or may not have 2 markets on the books starting in May, which would completely change how this business works. We'll have to see. I'm not a big market person. I do them because that's how my business is currently structured. But if that means that I can keep making these videos and I can have a great Mother's Day and I can reach more people in my local area, we might as well give it a try. So I'm going to be doing 2 farmers markets starting in May, right before Mother's Day. Got it? Look at that. Okay, my car is full of so many fun things and I'm on my way to the market. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like and subscribe if you want to see if I reach my 100 bouquet goal for Mother's Day. Stick around because I will try my best to keep you updated every week on what's happening. Next week is very exciting. I'm recording these kind of like a few weeks behind, so I already know what happens. And oh my gosh, I'm so excited. First of all, I've got to start a lot of seeds for this plant sale, and I need to be on the ball for the next 4 weeks so I do not miss any seeding dates and I take care of my plants. I've been dealing with fungus gnats, so we really need to be on it. And this next week is key. Also, the frost is gone, the snow has melted, and the daffodils are blooming like crazy. So it is a mad dash to get as many harvested as possible and to try and have a better farmer's market the following week. So, about those sunflowers. They look amazing. They look awesome. We had that snow and cold snap, but they survived. And not only that, they're already pushing up their first set of true leaves, and some of them are even pushing up their second set of true leaves. So I am super excited for how these look, and I'm going to try to keep them, like I said, as warm as possible, as hot as possible for the next few weeks to get them on track and to avoid any really cold snaps, which I don't want to jinx it, but we might be in the clear, hopefully. So yeah, we've got 60 sunflowers growing. We've got lilies coming along, which is also awesome. And those need to be protected from the cold. So even though the farmer's market didn't go as well as I wanted this past week, I'm hopeful for the future. I'm excited for new things that are developing. And I'm trusting and being delusional that if I stay on track, I'll not only win the gold medal, but I might just have a good flower farming year. So thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.